Hey, ladies and gents. Welcome back to MLC Midgame Life Crisis. This is our episode 4, I think, of the podcast. Yeah, it's episode 4. I'm Inconsistency, your host.
I'm Werewolf.
And I'm Darkshore Grouper.
Darkshore Grouper. Darkshore Grouper is our longtime friend. I knew him since I was a kid. Wolf knew him a bit less, but he also knows him for a few years now.
The man and the fish.
Yep.
The man and the fish, yeah.
Which I always thought he was a Morlock for years, but forget about that. Let's not talk about that. Anyways, yeah. So we invited Morlock here. Sorry, Darkshore Grouper here. To basically, he's a programmer, right?
Yeah, I'm a software developer.
Software developer.
Yeah.
So you have a very, in my opinion, very unique perspective about a lot of the stuff that we usually talk about the gaming industry. You have a more behind the curtains, the more like the stuff that people, the average Joe, which is me and Wolf, when it comes to the gaming industry, we don't necessarily know because, we're not developers, we're not programmers. Even though you're not specifically a game developer, you still know a lot about how the sausage is being made.
Yeah, because, I've been gaming for a lot of years, so...
Oh, yeah.
Like, being both a gamer and a software engineer makes you look at stuff, like, differently when you game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not necessarily more tolerant for bugs and stuff, but I do sometimes see, like, the reason for why they exist and what happened that led them towards, being in the final release and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's we have me and Grouper. We have a lot of great conversations about. We don't agree about everything, but he has a perspective that I don't, and
that's true to any person on the planet.
Yeah. But I mean, specifically when we talk about gaming news, industry news, which is some of our main subjects, or about gaming in general. He always gives me a unique perspective about stuff that I haven't thought about. Like we talked a lot about one of our biggest disagreement, and I'll only touch about this because I want to move on to start the main subject of today. Basically, we always argue about EGS, the Epic Game Store.
Yeah.
Whether it's pro or anti-consumer, having a store in the PC in the PC sphere. Of basically making the exclusivity deals that used to be unique only for consoles. Team Sweeney basically brought the whole concept of exclusivity from consoles to PC, and it became like standard now in PC. You see Ubisoft do this now. You see other companies start doing it. I think it's completely anti-consumer in my opinion, but
they were fined for that. It is anti-consumer.
Yeah, but I mean, I can also understand.
We have a long-lasting disagreement about this.
Yeah.
Because
I like stuff you argue about.
I don't.
Steaming pile of shit.
It's a fascinating subject.
I don't like it as well, but I get why a lot of people don't like it. But I think that it's also a very big problem that we only have Steam like as the biggest online shop for gaming.
He's not wrong.
And it's too centralized. It's not that good. But this can be a whole different podcast. A whole episode.
Yeah.
No. If you want competition, there needs to be proper competition. When you have competition that can compete, then you have something to talk about. They didn't even have a shopping cart in their fucking UI, okay? That's not competition. The exclusivity deals when your product is crap is not competition.
Okay, less than crap.
Their shop was lackluster, I'll give you that.
Lackluster?
Yeah. But that's what I mean. they can't
That's an understatement, I know, that's an understatement.
They can't say they're trying to compete with a giant by putting out a shit product.
But I can see the reasoning behind not wanting your game to be in Steam and to be like your own shop. But again, it's like that's like a...
No, but that's fine. If only Epic games would be only in Epic Game Store and not over there, that's not unique.
Okay.
EA did that for years, and lots of publishers kept their games on their launcher.
Okay.
This is not something new. He's mad when they do an exclusivity deal with some third-party developer or publisher where they tell him for the first year, you only sell the game with us.
Yep. I hate that shit.
That's what he's...
I don't have a problem with EGS existing. I have a problem with the anti-consumer exclusivity deals that force people to use their substandard shitty service.
Yeah, exactly.
That's my problem, especially when they had a few data breaches where their security is shit as well. So why are you going to risk opening another goddamn fucking account again, yet another one, right? You have the streaming services, you have all the different game
throwing around your personal information to every hole out there.
I don't know. I have an issues with that. I want to hear your side about it.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's say their shop was fantastic. It was like working flawlessly, sparks shooting out of their asses, stuff like that. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Would this be better?
Yes.
And you would still be angry?
Yes, I would.
And you
be
would
angry.
still not go there and shop the games there on their shop.
No,
right?
I would
I'm not
shop
sure.
there.
I'm not.
You would shop.
I'm not shopping there now because the product is subpar.
So your entire issue is about the quality of the shop?
No.
And the
Like
quality
the
of the
technical-
security, yes.
Okay, that's a valid point. Okay, I get that.
That's what I mean.
That's
they're
his
proving
point.
that they're doing a half-ass job with these things, and they expect people to come because they throw their money around.
Yes, I don't like the brutal force that they're using brutal force to try and force themselves into the marketplace instead of doing it subtly and slowly, like Steam did it. Steam did it very slowly over the years. That's how they should have done it.
And the most susceptible audiences are kids.
Because of Fortnite and
Not
stuff
only
like that.
because kids you open accounts all the time. They don't care. They give them something free or something that they want.
Yeah, but this happens in the retail world all the time, and it's been happening forever. Like someone like a book. Sometimes a book is released, and it's only you can only buy it in this like book store chain. For example, the only difference is the privacy stuff because online you need to create an account and you give your details and stuff like that. So I get the privacy stuff, but the like products being sold in specific stores and not in other stores because they want to get more sales. Like in my opinion, I like as a gamer, I don't like it as well. I like all my stuff like being in a single place.
Right.
But I still see like the validity of selling specific products in specific stores and not in other stores because they want to make more money. I get that. It's a business after all. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. But wouldn't you rather them compete with Steam by just having a much or not doesn't have to be a much better product, but a good enough product that offers distinctive, unique opportunities or I don't know. It's fucking the creators of Unreal Engine. They have so many stuff they can do. They can use creativity to bring customers to them. They don't have to brute force it by saying, "Hey, to this company, hey, listen, we're gonna give you a whole bunch of money and you release your game only in our store for a year." It's also not good for the. I'm gonna tell you, it's not even good for the developers. Their exposure to their games is getting limited, and people just don't buy games on EGS as much as they do on Steam. They don't, and there's good reason for that. It's not for nothing.
People look for comfort.
That's true, but if I was a developer, like a game developer, and they would offer me an exclusivity deal only for their store for like the first year,
you take
so
it.
I would need to know how much money I'm getting because I know I will get less exposure.
Yeah.
So if like a small studio is releasing a game only in the Epic Store and not on Steam, and they don't get enough money for the exclusivity deal, it's kind of their fault, I guess, because they needed to try and get more money. But you can never know. You know, I'm not in their place. I don't know like how the negotiations went and what's their situation in the company. You know what I mean?
Yes. Let me put it this way. What you were saying to begin with is you like this because you want competition for Steam.
Yes.
And I agree with that. Monopoly is a bad thing.
Yeah.
They're throwing money around like a monopoly, basically. This is the monopoly tactics, paying money to have your product in the front shelf, in front of the eyes, pushing your competition, the smaller competition aside by throwing money around. This is a monopoly behavior. Now, if they were providing a real competition, I would agree with you, because this is good for the industry. Because if they have a good product that competes properly with Steam, and they would take 25% for their games, and not 30% like Steam, then developers would prefer them, and then Steam would get less work, less products to show, and then Steam would be forced to reduce price tag to 25%. These are the things that are good for developers and good for the industry. Yeah. When they push their dick around like that, they don't achieve this.
Also, I would like to add that I feel like you could, if you have the Unreal property, you can give it like, you can maybe give some discounts to companies who use your extremely popular game engine make it more profitable for them. Give them. There's so many stuff they could have done instead of just swinging their dick, putting it on the goddamn table and saying, this is our huge cock, respect it, and come to our place and buy it. Buy it only here, you can't buy it anywhere else. Fuck you.
And don't step on the dick.
Yeah, I don't like the way they did it, especially when their shitty fucking launcher is so terrible. I know it's much better today, but it's been almost 10 years now?
And it's still not in the same level as Steam.
No,
still.
Yeah, but to be fair, Steam had many, many more years to develop. So, but still, yeah,
if they would have poured all this money they poured on exclusivity deals on developing their shop, it would have been the way it should be.
And by the way, they're in huge losses with EGS. It's not making them any money at all.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. Stuff like they did with Alan Wake 2. Epic Games basically produced Alan Wake 2. They basically paid for the whole development, and this was a very expensive game. I heard last time I heard it was around 250 million, maybe more than that.
What?
That's not even accounting for the marketing.
Yeah.
But by the way, the marketing was pretty subpar for the game because again, it was only on EGS.
Did you play it? Because when you play it, you see why it was so expensive.
This is the level of cinema.
Oh, it's game development is right now in the past few years has been much more expensive than movies, than Hollywood movies, which is crazy.
But it makes more money.
It depends on which fucking games you're talking about. Some of them are such huge disappointment.
Yeah, live services, but
not just live services, but many games are not good enough. But anyways, my point is, I think they could have found better ways to break into the market. I think they messed up. I don't like the brute force, forcing people to use the subpar service, and that's what I think about that. You wanna add anything else?
Not necessarily, because I think we're digressing. But
yeah.
I just think I don't like people saying I want all my games on Steam. I don't want them anywhere else, because I think that's not good for the market. I agree that what's happening now with like subpar launchers and shops and stuff like that, that's not good. And I also don't like my credentials hanging around in a bunch of services that I don't always use, and I'm like signing up for a single game and I never see them again. I don't like it as well.
Yeah.
But I do think it's like sort of a step in the right direction for what I think the market should be.
Why though? Wouldn't you, sorry for cutting you off, wouldn't you rather that EGS, wouldn't you rather that EGS existed and other shops existed, but you have the option to buy a game both in all of those platforms? You just decide in which platform you want to buy it in. Wouldn't you rather it be like that than like having stores that force you to buy the product only in their because it was something that wasn't ever in part of the culture of PC gaming for so many years, and it became only in the few years that EGS came up. Yeah, I do
want it, because I think that's fair market and it's better prices and competition. But I think that if something more extreme won't happen, like what's happening now with the Epic Shop, we will never get there, because you have to do like extreme steps to win over Steam. Currently, Steam are gigantic.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have the perfect counter example for you.
Okay.
Before that, I wanted to say something about just one sentence on the movie industry. The difference is, in the movie, if your movie is a flop, you're finished. It will never recover. It will, because you can't change the movie. When it's done, it's done.
But you see many companies, come on, companies are getting shut down left and right now.
Sure, but when a giant developer makes a live service game that starts badly, it can still improve.
Sure, but
potentially
most of them die statistically.
Because the suits run it, and the suits don't have their heads screwed on correctly. But I'm saying it's possible.
Yes, it's possible. All right, guys.
I had a counter example for him.
Okay. I want to move on, but okay.
Good Old Games Galaxy.
Yeah.
Okay. They have been doing this slowly for years, and they developed Galaxy, and their angle is correct. They're making Galaxy, so you can give it your credentials for your other things, Steam and Epic Games and whatever, and you can run all your games from them. It will have a list of your games in other platforms, and when you want a game from the other platform, it will run it for you in the other platform, and this makes it very comfortable for the end user, and that's the whole point. And they're doing it correctly. Slowly, they're getting there, they're improving, they have people trying it, and they have their own angle with no DRM, and they're gonna make something out of it.
Yes, but okay. So
no.
I'm gonna answer him.
Yes, and then we move on. You make the last point. You make the last point.
Okay. So I'll just say this. you're correct. You can do this on Steam as well, right? You can add non-Steam games, and sometimes they run a launcher before the game loads because this is how the game runs from other shops. The difference with GOG, in my opinion, is because GOG started with a niche proposition because they gave I won't say abandonware, but they gave you old games
that worked.
They made them work on current machines, on modern machines.
Sure.
And they sold it to you.
Sure.
And this wasn't existing on Steam. So they had a niche and a good proposition, and then they started adding more and more games, and this is why they are still successful today. And also their shop is good.
But that's what I mean.
Okay, so I get that, but I still think that you need to find ways to fight Steam because it is huge, and I don't think it's good for in long term to keep a shop that is so big, and all your games are there.
No one contests that, of course.
We agree with that. We agree that competition is good. Monopoly is bad, competition is good, period. This is not something that we disagree on. I think we disagree on more about the culture of PC gaming, not having exclusivity, and a huge company with many resources not being able to compete with Steam in a more creative and smart way, instead just brute forcing. That's the stuff that we don't like. However, I just want to say one last thing. I don't mind them producing games and then making those games only exclusive to their platform. That's okay by me.
Sure.
That's what they did with Alan Wake 2, and I'm 100% okay with that. I know that there's probably a good, even though I really want to play the game, I know there's a very good chance I'll never play it because it's never going to be on Steam ever. So that's okay, but I accept that because that's a game they created, they financed.
Yeah.
So yeah, all right, guys, let's move on. Wow, we talked about this for about 17 minutes. That's crazy. It's a good subject.
It's a good subject.
It's a good subject.
Yeah.
There's more to be said. We just don't want to go into it.
It can be an episode on its own.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip the monthly Baldur's Gate 3 update this time.
Fucking love that game, man.
Oh yeah.
Fucking love that game. I started recording cutscenes with Shadowplay. I like watching them again. It's epic.
Wow, bro.
Wow.
That's actually one of the greatest compliments I ever heard you say about a game.
I love this fucking game.
Something changed since last month?
A lot of the things that I complained about started getting better.
Okay, I guess we are talking about this. So what changed? Now I'm too curious. I have to know.
Yeah.
The romance started getting interesting, and the backstory started getting interesting, and the game exploded into epic proportions.
What act are you?
3. I'm starting 3.
So you're near the end. You're beginning to be.
I'm approaching the end, but there's still lots of. If you're completionist like me, there's lots of hours. Because I will do all the missions.
By the way, people listening, just a reminder, you're going to have timestamps both in the description and in the comments that you can use to skip any part that doesn't interest you. I know some people maybe don't want to hear about Baldur's Gate 3, or people don't want to hear about whatever. You can skip to whatever point that you want. And also leave us a like and comment below because the algorithm loves that shit. And so do we. Sorry, keep going.
That's it.
So the game, the game basically ramped up.
Yeah.
All right.
So maybe I opened up to it, but the bottom line is I just can't get enough of it. It really pains me. I don't have time to put on it properly. Playing in windows of an hour and a half is really disappointing. You get into it and you have to finish. I want to immerse myself in this game. I'm planning the next playthroughs.
Bro, it's your fault. Next time, don't have 3 fucking children. Come on, enough. 1 is enough.
100%.
He agrees with me. I love it. All right. Let's move on. Okay, so I want to talk to my boy here, Darkshore Grouper. There's a reason we brought you in, man, and that's like you said, your expertise and your speciality behind basically when it comes to development, or rather programming, even though it's not game specific, but it's in general. Can we talk about, first of all, I heard you bought 2 Steam Decks, one for yourself and one for your wife.
Yes.
Can we talk about, before we get to the main subject, I want to hear you talk about what makes Steam Deck such an amazing product. By the way, I don't have a Steam Deck, and Wolf, do you have one?
No.
So, okay, so let us sell us on it.
You have a Switch as well, right?
I have a Switch as well.
So
we have 2 Switches as well.
Wow.
Yeah, we have the OG Switch and the OLED Switch.
Wow.
Yeah, and now we bought 2 Steam Decks.
You gonna get the Switch too?
Maybe.
What would be the advantage of getting
No,
Switch
I'm
2
not sure.
If you have a Steam Deck, I mean.
It's only if you really like Nintendo stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nintendo.
Nintendo stuff,
Right,
come on.
right.
I like Nintendo stuff, but like recent years, maybe a bit less. Like the first Zelda game was fantastic, like Breath of the Wild.
I couldn't finish it.
Yeah, I loved it, but Tears of the Kingdom I couldn't finish. It started. I won't say that I got bored. I didn't like all the building mechanics and stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not that into the Nintendo ecosystem right now. So I'm not sure that I will buy it like as it's released. The
You
Switch
don't
2.
play the Mario franchise stuff?
Yeah, but I'm not sure it's worth like buying a brand new Switch for that, just for that. Like,
Alright.
I'm not sure. The Steam Deck. Okay, I'm gonna tell you my point of view as an aging gamer because
Also a dad, right? You also have a kid.
yeah, I also have a kid.
A small kid.
You also decrepit.
Yeah.
Old, decrepit, and have kids. Yeah, I don't have kids, but I'm still old and decrepit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, growing up with the PC games. I also always had consoles as well, but
Yeah.
PC gaming will always have like a special place in my heart.
We should make an episode about that.
About what?
Our old school games, like the 80s.
Yeah, of
Wow.
course. Yeah, definitely.
We will one day.
So, like as a kid, yeah, I can say I always had this dream of like taking like PC gaming and everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And like laptops are like close. Like I'm young enough, I'm old enough so that there weren't like laptops when I was a kid.
That's what I was going to say. They showed up really late anyway.
They showed up later, and even then, like gaming with a laptop on the go, it's different than like a handheld. So
they also didn't have the laptops were much weaker then.
Yeah.
Much weaker than the PCs.
Yes, definitely. And like holding the Steam Deck in my hand and like seeing like my entire Steam library
That's
on
awesome.
it, it's like, oh my god, I can play everything. Like it's PC, but it's in my hands and I can play everywhere, And it's
How powerful is it?
But Steam Link also offered that with other software.
It's not the same. It's not the same. I can say that Steam Link, like you say, like on mobile, on a phone, when you're out of your house.
No, but it doesn't have to be. You can run Steam Link on basically any system.
Yes, you can. But again, it's streaming. It's still streaming from your PC.
Sure.
And it's like if you're inside your home network, it works pretty
Perfect.
good.
Yeah, that's.
But outside the house, it's not working like as nearly as good as PlayStation Remote Play.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your
And the Steam Deck you
mobile
can-
data. Yeah.
Of course.
The Steam Deck you can take wherever with you, and it's basically like having the whole Steam library in your pocket.
Yes.
Well, you need to have the game installed on the deck.
Yeah, sure, but
It's not you see the library because you can install games. It's a
Yes, of
portable
course,
PC.
but again, it's a PC.
Yeah,
so
that's it. Portable PC.
we bought the 1 terabyte edition, which is like the highest storage you can get,
Nice.
and you can still add like
It's a lot.
storage to it. It's a lot, but I can install anything I want, and
Yeah.
it will take a bit of time until I will need like to uninstall stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not that powerful, but it's powerful enough so that you can run most games at like stable 60 FPS.
nice.
And the OLED deck has the screen is 90 hertz, so you can get up to 90 FPS, which is nice. And
Is that really that important on a
For me, yeah.
display this size?
the smoothness, yeah. That's the point.
Is it
Because
HDR?
It's HDR as
Oh my
well.
God!
So the fantastic thing is because this is a small screen with a small resolution. It's like 1200 on 800.
Oh,
I think.
okay.
It's a small resolution, so you don't need to play with everything on high, so you can get good performance on a lot of stuff.
Right.
And again, it's like a PC. So unlike consoles, when you almost never have like graphics settings to change inside the game, here you can change everything like it's a PC.
Yeah, it's a PC.
Oh, I get it. It's
So you can play around
very
around it.
customizable.
Yeah,
like, just
and-
like PC. Yeah.
And there are like tons of threads on Reddit of people saying like these are my settings for X, these are my settings for Y, and it's like a whole community of trying to run the games on the best performance and stuff like that.
That's pretty
and
cool.
it's fantastic.
So can you? are you able to... You can't play every game. It's only Steam Deck verified games, right?
Well, you can try to run everything.
Oh, really?
There's no block.
You can install everything and try to run everything. Like Steam games.
We
can talk later about like non-Steam games, like what I tried. I just installed Diablo 4.
Right.
Like, the actual Battle.net launcher last night. And it worked, but it was a bit harder.
But they have to put all the stuff on Steam as well.
Yes, but I don't want to buy Diablo 4 for twice the price again.
It costs.
This is an example for something that they put the games in the Steam, but you can't port the CD key.
Yes.
Yeah, which is crap.
That's crap.
In GOG, they worked with the developers that if you want to move your game from Steam to them, you can.
Yes. They're the good guys. That's for sure. But yeah, Steam games, you can basically install everything as far as I'm aware. But Valve are continuously going over the games and are checking them out and seeing if they run well, if they're like and then they like list the stuff that are not working as well in like bullet points. So you can, if you see like a game in the library, you have like an icon, a Steam Deck icon. Like if it's green, it's a-okay. If it's yellow, it's like some stuff are not working, but it's playable.
Right.
And if you see like a no-go icon, so that means that we didn't try it yet. We're working on it.
It's Linux, right? The operating system.
It's SteamOS.
Oh,
which is
Linux based.
It's based on Linux, on Debian.
Right.
It's Valve's own distribution to run the stuff for Steam, basically.
Is it open source?
It's mostly open source. They have like small parts that are closed source because that's like Valve stuff, but the majority of the thing is open source.
Does it have a keyboard basically? Are you able to type stuff? Yeah. Right?
You have an on-screen keyboard like on your phone, but you can connect everything to it. You can basically dock it to a monitor and mouse and keyboard, and it's a PC.
Awesome. And are you, sorry for hogging the conversation.
No, that's amazing.
Are you able to, it is amazing. It sounds like an amazing product.
Yeah.
How powerful is the CPU itself? Do you know the specs of it? Around it? Something around?
It's both AMD stuff. Last I checked, I think the CPU is somewhere on the like 5600 level, I think.
Okay.
The Ryzen 5600. But I'm not entirely sure. We can check it out maybe.
How expensive is it?
I know the price in our currency, but I'm not sure. Like,
divide by 4. It doesn't have to be.
Doesn't matter.
So I think around $700, $600.
Yeah.
It's not that cheap, but
I mean, it's a good product. I mean, come on. It's a good
portable PC.
$700. But
PC.
It's considered a relatively powerful PC, basically. How much RAM do you remember? Stuff like RAM. Okay, I don't want to put you on the spot.
I'm not sure.
He ran Diablo 4.
Diablo 4 runs pretty much.
Well, Diablo 4 is not the heaviest game. I mean, there's much heavier games.
This is the games that interest people, sadly. So if this is what they want to play, the Steam Deck delivers. That's what the point is.
All right.
Well, I played Cyberpunk on it.
Oh my
there
god!
You go.
What?
Yes.
Without ray tracing, right? Come on.
No, without ray tracing.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
And it doesn't support DLSS. No, I told you it has FSR because it's AMD. And it doesn't have NVIDIA hardware.
Yeah, that's actually a disadvantage, a big one, in my opinion. If you want to talk about
it, is, but we talked about it. Like DLSS is hardware stuff.
Yeah.
So you can't squeeze it. You can't necessarily squeeze it in like a handheld. Maybe in the future, I guess. I guess this is why they did it.
Yeah.
And also probably squeezing in NVIDIA hardware inside would make it way more expensive.
I mean, there are ways.
There are,
yeah. Okay.
But Cyberpunk with FSR running without ray tracing, I was like going around the 50s, I think.
Okay, not too bad.
And heavier places like 40s.
Is it like a steady 50? Like it doesn't jump
pretty
around?
Steady,
the frame pacing is steady?
Pretty steady. Again, I played around with the settings and I reached a point that the game was like really playable.
Very nice.
It was fantastic.
It still looks good?
Looks good. The game looks awesome like as it is.
How big is the screen? Can you remind me?
7 point something inches.
Inches? Okay, no, that's pretty small. That's pretty small.
But it sounds small, but when I thought about it, before I bought it, I said, isn't it like a bit small? But then when I got it and I held it in my hands, I was like, oh my god, this is nice.
Okay.
Bro, come on, we played on shit the size of Game Boy screens in our day.
Yeah.
I had a portable Sega. It had a screen the size of your phone, less than your phone screen today.
Yeah.
Your phone display.
Also, there are like competitors out there. You have like Asus has the ROG Ally.
Yeah.
And
Don't buy anything Asus.
Yeah, and Lenovo has like the Lenovo Legion, which is also like
Isn't that
it's bigger.
I thought the
and-
Legion is a fucking laptop.
No, it's called the Legion Go or something like that. I think. So it's way bigger. It's huge. It kind of like beats the purpose of being like mobile, handheld. But I think it's based on Windows 11 and not on
Not on
Linux. But I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right.
But it's I think Valve put a lot of thought and like work.
I mean,
on the Steam Deck.
it's getting amazing reviews everywhere.
Yeah.
But so how long have you been using it now?
A couple of weeks.
And what's your like, just if you had to give it a score out of 10 right now as a product, did you get what you wanted from it?
Definitely. I would say an 8.5.
Damn.
Like the only reason I'm not giving it like even higher is the fact that still like some games are not working as well as they should work on PC. But like it's a continuous work because Valve developed this like a mid layer of compatibility to run stuff like Windows stuff on Linux because it's not straightforward, of course.
Yeah.
And they keep like updating it and developing it, which is fantastic. And also that like installing anything that's not on Steam, it's a bit more of a hassle. Especially because these are Windows stuff and you need the compatibility layer.
Right.
And using it, you can only use it from within Steam. So
okay, that
there are,
makes
like,
sense.
ways to circumvent it, but it's still like a pain in the ass.
But hey, I bet you sound pretty fucking happy about it overall.
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic.
So just to clarify, so you installed a Diablo 4 Linux version?
Yeah, I already bought it on Battle.net when it was released, and I don't want to buy it again on Steam.
I
Of
don't
course.
blame
Yeah,
blame
sure.
you.
I'm just asking. So you had to install a Linux version, not a Windows.
Oh
version.
no, there is no Linux version.
So you installed
You
a
need
Windows
to.
version?
You need to. Well, on Steam Deck, you can go to desktop mode. So then you go to the Linux desktop for Steam OS,
Yeah.
and you basically like go to Battle.net, like the website, and download the
Launcher.
installer,
Yeah.
like the Windows installer, and you install it from within Steam. It's a bit
Okay.
weird, but you can do that. It's like because it's a Windows executable, .exe, and you can't run this on Linux. So you need to go inside Steam and add the Battle.net installer as a non-Steam game, and then using that you install
Wow.
it. It sounds more complicated than what it eventually was.
No, but the Windows version works fine on this OS?
It works fine with the Steam, the Proton compatibility layer.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah,
Sounds amazing,
It
bro.
works pretty well.
Wow, this product is fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yes, and like I got into
We
Battle.net.
sound like a bunch of fucking Steam shells, Valve shells. Right
Yeah, no, I got into Battle.net and was already
Shields,
like
sorry, shields.
astonished that I'm seeing like Battle.net on this thing.
Yeah.
And I like downloaded Diablo 4, and when Diablo 4 like I ran it and like, oh my god, it's actually running, and it's like not only it's a Windows game I installed from like outside of Steam, and it's working.
Amazing.
Though I do wonder, they have Diablo 4 on Steam.
Yes.
So it might be that this was one of the games that they already tested and they know how to work with, you know?
I think that what they did, I'm pretty sure. Okay, maybe the listeners will know because I don't. But I think that if you load Diablo 4 that you buy on Steam, it will still load Battle.net on the background because they need Battle.net
that
for
makes
the
sense.
authentication and community and chat and stuff like that.
What, you have your Battle.net community on Steam when you run a Battle.net game?
I'm pretty sure that like if you download like Overwatch, I think that you can see like your Battle.net friends.
I'm making a surprised face.
I think so,
Okay.
but we can check it out
Then
later.
this means that they need your credentials for Battle.net.
That's a good question.
Otherwise, how do they do it?
That's a very good question. I don't know how authentication goes if you go buy like these games on Steam.
And by the way, are you as a programmer, are you able to do anything? Yeah.
Just a second.
Yeah.
I remember now because me and Inconsistency has a talk about Overwatch 2, and I downloaded it just to check the launcher thing. You remember that?
Yes, I did. And you said it worked amazing.
It worked amazingly. The thing is, when you load, you need to link your account to your Battle.net account.
You log
remember
in.
that was...
So you log in. You get that token, yeah.
Yes, you get a token, but it's pretty seamless because if you're like already like logged into your Battle.net account like on your phone, you just like enter the token and you approve it and that's it. So I guess that Diablo 4 is the same on Steam?
Yeah, I guess so. So by the way, one last question and then we'll move on to the main subject of the podcast. Basically, as a programmer, do you have any advantages of using the Steam Deck open source Linux? Like, can you go into the coding area and just do stuff
behind the scenes?
Yeah, behind the curtain, can you do stuff as a programmer with it or not?
Yeah, of course, you can do a lot because it's Linux.
Oh, and that's what I thought.
And again, it's mostly open source. So, for example, you have something called Decky. Okay, I just, again, I'm pretty new to the whole Steam Deck thing, and I just like read about Decky yesterday. But it's basically like something open source people wrote to create more plugins for the Steam Deck.
Oh.
So for example, after you install Decky, which is like a Linux thing, you install it, you can install some plugins on the Steam Deck. For example, plugins to change like artwork for your games, or games that are outside of Steam that don't have artwork, you can add artwork.
Oh, that's cool.
From like a database of artwork for all the games and stuff like that.
That's nice.
So it's open source and you can do a lot of stuff, which is nice.
So basically develop games for the Steam Deck and test them on the Steam Deck.
Yes, basically yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah. So okay. Cool. So one of the main reasons we brought you here, other than being a programmer, we wanted to. You're a known fan of the Souls-like genre.
Yes.
Basically,
Definitely.
it's one of your favorite, without a doubt, Form Software and their games, and basically not just Form Software. Most Souls-like the good ones. You're probably interested every time a good Souls-like game comes out. It piques your interest, right? Your curiosity. Yes. Yeah. So both me and Wolf here, correct me if I'm wrong, Wolf, at any time.
No, I never played any Souls-like.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, so basically we never played those games. I always kind of hovered around it, I played very light Souls games, like not like the actual Form Software, one of those games. I had never played any of them, and I always thought about it, but I never. What's that game that we talked about?
Returnal.
Returnal was one of them. The shooter, the Souls-like shooter. I forgot its name. It's a sequel. It was a sequel.
Call a shooter Souls-like?
Yeah. It's all about the mechanics. I also played the first Jedi Survivor. The Jedi Survivor is the second game.
Is it a Souls-like?
It's a Souls-like light, I'd say.
Souls-light.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's a Souls-light. Exactly, because it has like the bonfires. You have that element of it. You do need to go and run and pick up your shit when you die. You need to save in the bone fires. So yeah, it has elements of it. It's not as hardcore as the Form Software games. It's not as difficult, obviously. But that's the reason I played it, because it's not as challenging as those games. By the way, not an easy game though. So basically, Souls-like games have a reputation of being very, very hard. And you need to be someone who enjoys that specific kind of genre of games. And you love those games.
Yeah.
Me and Wolf are not so much. Try to convince us and the audience, those of you who listening and always wondered why people love games like Elder Ring and Demon Souls and the other ones. I forgot the names, all of them.
Dark Souls.
Dark Souls. Bloodborne is like one of the most coveted games that people want to see come to PC.
Bloodborne is a masterpiece.
They have a samurai game as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Sekiro.
And
it's not a good time to talk to me about Sekiro because I'm stuck on the last boss.
You're still stuck in that fucker?
I'm stuck with that. It's a 4-phase boss.
Yeah, you told us.
It's a fucking 4-phase boss. It's so tough. Oh my god.
Great.
So this is supposed to convince me to play the game?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
the guy is falling apart. So it's like, I can't do it.
Yeah, you can literally see the guy hating life right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that first boss.
Why would I want to do that to myself?
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I mean, let us know.
No, it's okay. So first of all, I don't need to convince you to play it because it's.
Of course not.
I know what you meant, but what I mean is, I didn't like always love those games. Okay, I did play the original Demon Souls when it was released on PS3, and I didn't like it. I didn't get it.
How old were you back then? That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was on the PS3.
Yeah, I mean, that was 2 decades
It's
ago.
like the mid 2000s, I guess.
Yeah, something.
I think.
So not that young.
Yeah.
In your 20s, right?
Yeah.
In my 20s, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
We're old, bro.
Yeah.
Decrepit.
And I didn't get it back then. I played for a bit. It was clunky and slow, and I died really easily.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, but I left it out, and also I haven't played it up until until today. I still haven't played it. Even like the remake, they made it like they remastered it like recently for the PS5.
Right.
It was like a release title for the PS5, and I played it for a bit, and I stopped after a while because after playing all their catalog, suddenly playing Demon Souls felt a bit outdated, at least for me.
Right.
Because the series got a lot of life quality improvements over the years.
Right. Quality of life. Right.
So I will play it eventually, but what I'm trying to say is,
Yeah.
it's something. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. These games, when you realize, like when you get the game, like the tactics and the character progression and the weapons and the items and how you fight mobs and how you fight the bosses, and there's a very, very, very satisfying feeling when you realize you got to a point when you basically brought the game to its knees after it was so tough that now you know it so well.
After it brought you to your knees first.
Yeah. But it's like it's sense of accomplishment that you don't get in a lot of games, and the fact that like even like simple mobs, like starting place mobs, can like kill you pretty easily if like you don't do anything or you like mess up. I think it's cool because it keeps you on your guard.
On toes, right.
So that's one point.
Okay, so the sense of accomplishment and the challenge, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. So,
But why does it give you this good feeling more than other games? This is what I wanna know. Because the sense of accomplishment is something you get in every game. This is why we play these games. You get a sense of accomplishment when you look at your giant city in SimCity that is working flawlessly, and you get your money. You start being in your debt.
True.
Okay.
True.
Or when you manage to pass that puzzle in Portal that you've been stuck on for a few days. You know, all the games have their challenges or their shtick that makes you try to overcome, and then you get the rush of serotonin or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
that makes you feel good about yourself.
Yeah, endorphins. Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure it is it's a tonin thing, something. This is what you get from Facebook and everything. This is all the companies are trying to make you make this drug. This is why TikTok is short. Anyway, digressing. So why is this different?
It's really hard to explain. I mean, I think the difference, again, like a sense of accomplishment, of course, you can get it from a lot of games. I remember always like saying that I got a lot of like a sense of accomplishment from World of Warcraft, for example.
Sure, and that's teamwork accomplishment.
But specifically, if you like third-person games, and like I would call it like an action RPG, the mechanics, they feel to me like a bit more realistic than other games. If you play with a huge ass weapon, you will hit slower and it will take more stamina. And if you like use smaller weapons, it will be faster. Use less stamina, but you will make less damage.
Yeah.
So I think when you get this system and you find the weapons that you like,
it doesn't sound complicated.
It
doesn't sound complicated.
It's complicated because you need to learn like how to actually use it in combat.
Sure. So the cues, the right rhythm for every type of weapon and playstyle. Yes. I get that.
I think that the sense of accomplishment is different between the different games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you play Dark Souls, it's one thing. If you play Bloodborne or Sekiro, it's a different thing.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
Because they talk about Souls-like, so you get the vibe that a very specific kind of game that just changed the theme or whatever.
Yeah, because a lot of people are just like every like hard game they say, oh, it's a Souls-like. It's not.
That's bullshit.
Yeah.
There's plenty of hard games.
I have the same gripe with people mixing roguelites and roguelikes.
Yeah.
People they don't understand the nuance in these names.
Yeah. So I think that's it. It also comes along with perfect like world design. Like Dark Souls 1, like in my book, is like people should learn from it how to design like level design. The level design in Dark Souls 1 is perfect.
Really?
Wow.
Because the world is like intricate and like connected in a way that you're like it's not linear, but it's not open as well, but you can go where you want, like almost everywhere you want at every point in time that you're playing.
So there's backtracking involved as well?
You can also backtrack. You can go whatever you want. You can go and like get like end game weapons if you want. Like there are ways to do that.
But it's a closed environment. It's a level, right? It's not like only Elden Ring started being like open world.
Yes, but it's still connected. What I mean is like you go to a region and a region and a region, and then you find like a door, and when you open it, you realize you're back in the first place, and then now we have a shortcut, so you can go again from here and other places. And like if you try to look up like in the like online a Dark Souls map, you will see that everything is connected.
Yeah,
and it's really fantastic. That's like, oh my god, that's how did someone think of it? It's like amazing.
Did you ever play any of the Resident Evil games?
I did not, but not a lot.
Okay, so just a quick note: Resident Evil. Those games are also known to have some of the best level design in all of gaming. Like just like you said, intricate levels that connect to each other in very smart ways that are locked in some way. That you need to find a key, or you need to find whatever. You need to fight this mob or this zombie to get that key to open that place that lets you extinguish the fire that blocks your way that you want to get the new weapon. It's very similar to that, only it's not a Souls-like game, right? It's different, but it's a more linear single-player game.
Yeah.
But it did remind me, like, you should probably play, I'd say, the remakes on Steam of the whole Resident Evil series is some of the best remakes that you should probably play. People who are listening, Resident Evil 2 is one of the best game and world designs and level designs that I've ever seen.
Did they fix the camera stuff?
What camera stuff?
Because the camera stuff was awful on Resident Evil 1 and 2 on the PlayStation,
well,
like back in the days.
Yeah, well, this is the remake. I only played the remakes that came out to PC with advanced graphics, new graphics. You even have like a bit of ray tracing in some of them, and they don't have DLSS, but they have the AMD one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's great looking games, and it's some of the best level design that I ever seen. I actually can tell you right now that you should play, if you can, just go and play Resident Evil 2, the remake on PC. Just go play the game. It's so good.
Yeah.
It grabs it from the first moment, and it's such a smartly designed game that the second you said what you said about level design of Dark Souls, it reminded me of Resident Evil.
Yeah.
Thank you. Keep going.
So I think that that's another point. Dark Souls game, Souls games, because I'm not only talking about Dark Souls, I'm also talking about Bloodborne and Sekiro and even Elden Ring.
Soul games.
Yeah, Soul
even not forms of software software games. You have what's that the one you played recently?
Armored Core?
No, Armored Core is not a Souls-like. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, it's not.
I'm talking about a non-form software game. I'm talking about it's also Souls-like. Lies of P, one of the most successful ones that came out lately.
Yeah, but it was a bit more user-friendly. This is why he was very successful. I think some of the stuff that a lot of people don't like about these games, but I do see it as part of the sense of accomplishment that you get, is that they don't hold you by the hand. Like you're in this world, you got into the game, and now you can do anything basically. You can go here, you can go there, you can go there, and you can go there and oh my god, it's too tough, I'm dying. And then you go to another place which is a bit easier, and like you realize by yourself where you should go and how you should go about this.
Are you punished for dying?
That depends on the game. They all give you some sort of a penalty, but it's not that bad as people think. Like for example, in Dark Souls, when you die, so you drop all your souls, like the experience points that you get, and you can run back to where you died and pick it up. And then you don't.
That's the mechanic. That's
anything.
like one of the mechanic of Souls-like games. The souls dropping.
Yeah. For example,
familiar mechanic.
Yeah.
For people who are not though.
In Sekiro, you don't run back and pick it up, but it just it's halved. So if you had like
wow, that is a punishment.
That is a bit Sekiro is a bit more punishing.
Sekiro is a son of a bitch, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's the only. It's the only From Software game that I rage quit twice and like left it for a few months before I finally decided, now this is the time. This is time I get into Sekiro, and I actually managed to get into Sekiro, and I'm about to finish the game.
Wait.
Fantastic.
You rage quit twice this game.
Yeah.
I have a personal question.
Yeah.
Are you into S&M?
No.
Because I'm getting a S&M vibe here. Come on.
It's not.
It's like this game. This game is putting you on your knees. It's stepping on your head, and you're saying thank you, and you're coming back for more.
It's spitting in your mouth, and you're saying, "Oh, I want some more."
It's not the same thing. First of all, I think the thing that a lot of people like about Sekiro is feudal Japan setting. That people really like it.
You can get that from JRPGs too.
Yes, but the mechanic is really fun in Sekiro once you get the hang of it. It's very fast. You need to get the timing right, but when you do, it's like it's a dance. Like it's a samurai sword dance. It's fantastic.
I get it.
So you're saying basically this is a good, realistic sword fight simulator.
I don't know if realistic.
I won't say it's realistic, but it's. I think out of all those games, it's the one that is most reliable on perfect timing and like quick reflexes.
So, which one of all of the Souls-like games, not specifically From Software, any Souls-like game you wanna talk about?
Bloodborne.
Which one? Okay. Wow, that's so crazy.
Let him finish the question.
No, I know.
Continue.
You have to, bro. It's not just him. The whole gaming community absolutely adores that game. I impatiently waiting for it to come to PC from Sony, right? Because Sony said they will sometime bring it to PC. I'm just waiting eagerly for it.
Even if someone does good ports for PC, it's on.
I mean, they have a very good track record of ports. Nixon, if they give it to Nixon,
exactly.
The guys who did Forbidden Horizon West.
Horizon
Forbidden West, and now they just released the new. It literally released today. The date of the recording, 16th of May. The samurai one. Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. I'm definitely gonna play that game. So, if there is one Souls-like game you would advise or recommend someone who never played any Souls-like game ever, which one would you let them start with that maybe will get them hooked to the whole genre? Which one is the most accessible for casuals?
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's a tough question. It's a very divisive question. I can give you like a few options, but there's definitely not a definitive answer for this. Okay.
All right.
They're all non-new player friendly.
Yeah, and probably you can find like a lot of threads about it and people arguing what's the best, Okay, first of all,
people on the internet are arguing about something.
but
inconceivable.
I like from my experience, the Souls community is. It's not that toxic. It's pretty okay.
It's not that toxic.
No, because
go to Souls Reddit and say that the game should have difficulty levels and see what happens.
That's a big no.
I know,
bro. That's like do you remember in fucking Die Hard 3 when they sent Bruce Willis with a sign?
Yeah, with a sign.
With the N-word. They send him to a what was it, like Harlem or some shit like that?
Man, that movie would never get produced today. Never.
No, but of course, aside from the controversial, this should have difficulties and stuff like that. They are very helpful when people are like stuck on bosses and parts of the games. People are very helpful. Try this, try that. I don't want to cheese it. I want to do it the proper way. Stuff like that. Aside from the occasional "get good" comment.
Yeah, of course. That's in every game.
What cheese it means?
Cheesing a boss meaning like to beat it like
By reading
in an
phases?
exploit kind of way. Like
Exploiting some bug or
like making the boss like fall off a cliff or stuff like that shouldn't really happen. That the game didn't intend for you to do.
I see.
I don't like that, by the way.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
So reading a guide is not cheesing?
What?
Reading a guide.
No.
No.
Okay.
The thing about these games, it's you still need, even if you read how people, like other people, beat the boss, you still need to do it yourself, and it's not easy at all. Like actually, like implementing the tactics is usually pretty difficult.
Sure, but if it's a 4-phase boss, for example, and knowing what every phase entails
of course,
from the beginning gives you an advantage.
Yeah, of course, but you still need to get to them, and like right now, I'm stuck on the second phase of the last boss.
Of the fucking monkey.
I'm at a point where I can do the first phase almost without getting hit.
Wow.
And the second phase, like he rips me off,
I
man.
could
It's
never
so
play
hard.
a game like this.
Yeah,
it would frustrate me to my bone.
I have to play the devil's advocate here. I get why you love the game. I get
Yeah.
the challenge. I get the fact that once you learn, it's like a dance move. What you learn, all the bosses
Yes.
move. You know exactly when to dodge. You know exactly when to counter. You know exactly when to hit.
Yeah.
I get it. I do actually get
But
it.
when you miss one of those, you hate yourself to oblivion.
Yeah.
No, but what
This
I'm
is a self-loathing game.
let me just what the part I don't get is you have a family, you have a small child, you have a wife,
You have a family,
you
man.
have a high stress job as a developer, as a programmer. So you come back home from a long day's journey, right? From a day's having to deal with your boss's bullshit, having to deal with your wife's bullshit, having to deal with your kids' bullshit,
And the kindergarten teacher bullshit.
yes, having to deal with the neighbor's bullshit, and then when all the bullshit you dealt with it, right? You come back, you come to your computer room or to your Steam Deck or whatever, and you're time to unwind, time to chill and relax, and you put fucking Sekiro, the last boss.
Exactly.
Really?
Well-
Really?
Well,
This is how you unwind and chill after a long day?
So it's a couple of things. First of all, when you're stuck on a boss and like going to play this game after a long day, it's almost like,
Suicide?
and at least for me, it's almost like meditation.
Oh, really?
Yes, because you like you do
I'm
this-
sure he likes S&M.
No. Come on. This is getting philosophical. I love it.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because it's like you're focusing on this thing and you like forget everything else, and it's really nice.
I actually get it.
And like the rest of the game, if you're not stuck on a boss or something like that, these games usually, sort of except for Dark Souls 2, I'd say, but most of these games really they want you to explore. So I think it really like pulls you into this world. So
Right.
I think this is why it is fun, at least for me, to play these games. Like, even after a long day.
And exploration is rewarded?
Yes, because you find like stuff that you won't find in like optional bosses and stuff like that. And if you like achievements, like on PlayStation and stuff, so you get achievements.
Achievement is not...
Some people like it. Yeah?
You didn't hear
Sure, but when I say rewards you, I mean in-game.
In-game, yeah, because, well, you can find specific weapons that you won't find if you won't explore, and like more upgrade materials for the weapons and stuff like that.
So I don't think you answered it. So which one would you recommend for someone like me or Wolf who are never played a Souls-like game before and are never say never. We kind of intimidated out of it. What would you say to make us convince us to play the games?
Okay, so
and which one specifically to start with that will get us into ease us into it?
I have two suggestions.
All right.
I think one is more common. The second is a bit more. I'm not sure that a lot of people would say this, but the first one is Dark Souls 1. It's older. I think that a lot of people do say start with Dark Souls 1 because it like lays the foundation.
Right.
I mean, what really laid the foundation was Demon Souls, but Demon Souls is a bit too old. And Dark Souls, when you play Dark Souls 1, you can feel the mechanics as they are today, basically, like the groundwork.
It did come out remastered to PC,
yeah.
right?
It's even on the Switch.
Oh, really?
I finished it like 3 times on the Switch. Yeah, it's on the Switch as well.
Switch is console, controls, and I'm just really bad with those.
This game works best on controller anyways, like in my opinion.
And another reason why we get paid.
All right. Okay.
So that's
so either the first Souls game, the one after Demon Souls, like Dark Souls 1.
Dark Souls 1.
Or what's the other one?
Or Bloodborne.
Bloodborne. Not Elden Ring. Interesting. I
Not
thought you were
Elden
gonna
Ring.
say Elden Ring.
Okay, so
because it is considered to be the most accessible one.
Elden Ring is a strong contender, but
it's the first open world one, right?
Yes, and it's like the only game that actually has a map. and like we'll give you something, and they give you a map with markers. And not only that, when you have like the bonfires, I don't remember how it's called on Elden Ring,
right?
The places when you rest,
they
have like small rays of light that like point you in a general direction of where they would want you to go for the story.
Oh my god!
So yeah, that's actually a good point. This is good for newcomers, but for me at least, the problem with Elden Ring is that it is just a bit too big.
Right. Overwhelming, you think?
It's a bit overwhelming. The open world is fantastic. They're about to release the DLC.
Oh yeah.
And
it looks amazing.
And I decided I want to like create a new character and like run the game again. Nice. And I like stopped after an hour because I looked at like what I opened in the map and what I still need to go through, and oh my god, no, that's too much.
Yes,
I'm not going through that again.
Yes, we talked about this last episode with Horizon Forbidden West.
And don't get me wrong, Elden Ring is a fantastic game. Like if you like those other games, it's an amazing game, and the open world is like it's a masterclass in how you shoot open world stuff.
Right.
But it's a bit overwhelming. Now, the reason I suggest Bloodborne is that the difference between Bloodborne and the rest of the Dark Souls games, like usually you have like the main Dark Souls games, and then you have the games that are a bit different mechanically.
Right.
So you have Bloodborne and Sekiro and Elden Ring, let's say. Elden Ring is like the culmination of everything.
Right.
But Dark Souls is very methodic in the combat and like the mechanics. You need to think about your actions, and every action consumes a bit more stamina, so you need to think when you dodge or when you block with your stuff. You need to be more.
Basically, what you're saying is that these games, part of their beauty, if you will, is that they almost demand your focus and respect.
Yes.
Which, unlike many other games, even single-player games, that you can kind of casually play and not really even be completely focused. You can listen to a fucking podcast like ours in the background or some shit.
Choose.
Yeah. What this game, those Souls-like games, if you actually wanna progress in them, it seems like they demand your respect. You can't half-ass them if you wanna actually get anything done there.
Yeah.
If I'm getting your
you need to pay attention.
Yeah. And there is something beautiful about that.
I get that, but all I'm hearing is a game that is not accessible
for new people, new players.
Not only for all kinds of people. Not everyone can deal with this shit.
You still haven't convinced us. It seems like.
Like I said, I don't need to convince you.
Yeah.
But the reason I did suggest Bloodborne is because, first of all, it's a masterpiece,
right?
And it's one of my favorite games of all times. And the mechanic is different in a way that it wants you to be more aggressive, like to dodge more.
I like that.
And you don't have a shield; you have a gun instead.
Oh.
And the gun, like you can shoot the gun when, like, in the exact time when they're trying to hit you, and then you can stun them.
I like that.
And you can like deploy a lot of damage. It's faster paced, and the visual design, it's my favorite. It's like Lovecraftian horror stuff, cosmic horror. And very Victorian.
I love it. It sounds great.
It looks amazing. It's really sad that this game is still locked to 30 FPS because it's an old game for the PS4.
That's why people are waiting for it to come to PC, man. Can you imagine that game on 120 FPS?
Someone got like a dev kit, like a Sony dev kit, and actually made the game run on 60 FPS. Like with better anti-aliasing and stuff.
Oh, great!
And it looks like, oh my god!
Can you imagine how
Give
it's
it to me now,
bro? Can you imagine how it will
take my money?
On a modern machine and PC with like modern graphics. Woo!
So the reason I do suggest Bloodborne is because the fact that it's more like it's fast-paced. It resembles more like other third-person games, sort of.
Yeah.
It's still like a Souls game,
right?
But it resembles this like in the feel, like a second-to-second feel on the game.
Moment to moment, yeah.
Moment to moment game, yeah. So the sad fact about Sekiro is that Sekiro has like the most straightforward storytelling.
Right.
It has a good story,
right?
But it's very not accessible because it's a very difficult game. It's like the most difficult Souls game.
You know, basically. The Sekiro one is the one that I personally was most interested in because I'm a sucker for anything and everything samurai, ninja, Japanese. I love that shit. That's why I'm gonna play the Ghost of Tsushima. I love the Shogun show, by the way. I'm gonna recommend to everyone here and everyone listening, watch the Shogun show. It's one of the best shows that was created in the last few years, 100%.
It's Disney Plus, right?
No, of course not. It's fucking.
No, it's Disney Plus.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
It's on Disney Plus.
It's maybe on Disney Plus, but it wasn't like created. It wasn't produced by Disney.
It's produced. I'm telling people I can watch it.
Yeah, I think it's AMC or something like that that produced it. I can't remember right now. But anyways, yeah, I'm a sucker for that. And I when I saw the trailer of Sekiro come out, the fucking style of it, the visual style is breathtaking. And the animation of the enemies and the bosses, always the From Software animation are, in my opinion, probably the best in the business. And I haven't even played one of their games. I've just from what I've seen on trailers, the animations of the robots and the of the enemies. I was thinking about Horizon Forbidden West for a moment there, which also has very good animations, by the way. You've seen it. Mm-hmm. But the animation in Sekiro specifically are breathtaking. They're just amazing. So I always almost pull the trigger on one of those Souls-like games, and then I said, nah, but I'll just get mad, and I don't want to rage quit after a long day, and I always never end up buying it, even in a deep discount.
Because you need to try them in a certain state of mind. You need to understand you don't have to kill everything. You can kill them once and then go past them.
That's already a problem, you see.
Why?
I want to kill everything.
Why is it a problem?
I want to kill because my OCD, bro. I want to kill.
So you can do that. You can get a lot of experience, but you will be stuck in the first zone. But you can go wherever you want. You can do a lot of stuff, and if you don't like the visual style of the games, you will never get into them really. Okay,
the visual is amazing. It does get me.
If you look at the visual style of the weapons in Bloodborne and what you can do with them, that alone can make you want to play the game because it looks fantastic.
The gameplay, the animation, the world, the atmosphere, all of those things are looking like top tier.
Yes.
But I'm afraid of the gameplay, of the actual gameplay. It scares me.
But you can just try.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right. I can always try it and
hate yourself.
And hate myself for 2 hours and then refund.
Does it run on the Steam Deck?
Steam. Yeah, he said it is.
It is, yeah.
Alright guys, I think that's about it. We want to talk about Season 4 of Diablo 4, but I'm gonna spare Wolf that stuff.
Blizzard.
We'll talk about it some other time. Grouper, thank you very much for coming, my friend. We didn't talk too much about stuff that are, specifically that you brought in your programming background into it, but we talked more about your gaming habits and stuff like that. I think it was a good conversation. I enjoyed it. And thank you for coming by, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Wolf, anything you want to add?
Yeah, like, subscribe, comment, tell us what you think, and we'll be seeing you around, yeah?
Yeah, check out the timestamps, use it to jump to whatever subject you interest you. We were pretty fucking focused on this one, I gotta say. But alright, boys and girls, see you around. MLC episode 4. This is Inconsistency. My man here, Werewolf.
See ya.
And Darkshore Grouper.
That's me.
See ya, guys.